1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's edition of the Mudblood podcast with myself, William Thompson.
Myself, Paddy McDonald.
And today we are joined by the absolutely fantastic Mr. Colin Murphy.
Haha.
How are you, sir?
Good. I like a podcast with biscuits.
Yes, yes.
It normally doesn't happen. You're like royalty.
Oh, is that right? It's proper
We
biscuits.
got comedy rolling in,
This
we get the
never
rich tea in.
happens. This is like a first.
Rich
This is
tea.
like a first thing. William was like, "I'll get coffees, I'll get tea." Oh, you can tell William's favourite comedian's coming in now, man.
Then he forgot the milk.
Oh, he likes to keep you on your toes, you see. Has to get you back. The next time, I promise you, there'll be milk in your tea.
Oh, yeah.
I knew I'd fucked one thing up. Because there's a big queue at the coffee machine as well, and I had fucking 4 coffees to make, so I'm just standing there like, sorry, lads.
I realised when you didn't come back in time, here's me, I should have went and got the coffees there. I should have, like.
Oh, you wouldn't have done it any faster?
I thought you'd done a good job.
Thank
in all
you.
fairness.
Thank you.
I did think, I put you down all the time. I don't want people to message me and going, you put that wee lad down. He done a good job. He done alright.
Yeah,
he
I'm
didn't
sorry
get
about
Murph
that.
milk in his tea, but he done
And
alright.
Murph punched me for it, so we're alright. We're all good
it's all
now.
grand.
Don't think so.
How are you doing anyway, man? I know you've got a tour coming up.
Yes, starts whenever next week. 3rd.
Whatchamacallit, I believe.
Whatchamacallit. Yes.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
That's
Very
really
good.
It's
good.
very good.
Sometimes it's hard to come up with
Yeah.
a good show name. What's yours is Stories? Is
Stories is just, and I mean, there's no real imagination in that there. It's just because people are doing my head in about, you never told that story and you never told that. So literally, this show is to get it out of the way.
Stories.
And just go, it's just stories and it's just the ones you want to hear, you know?
Fair enough.
That's the thing. If you have a title for a show, it has to be vague enough.
Yeah.
Because normally when you... the people might not know that when you come up with a title for a show, you haven't written the show.
Yeah.
So like all those people in Edinburgh and all these...
Yeah.
They have no idea what it's going to be about. So it has to be vague enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
It can be about anything.
My last one was called On the Tools 2.
Yeah.
Tool Harder.
Yeah.
And after, Andrea hadn't seen me in 5 years and she was like, what had that got to do with being on the tools? And I went, well, you're right, because I wrote that much, which we were talking about.
Yeah.
Murph wrote, he's trying to fit the whole show in, right?
speaking
And it's
to him
very
last night.
hard to get it in
Yeah.
in the hour. Like, people go, why don't you do 2 hours? It's not like that.
Yeah.
We could, but
Sit there for 2 hours.
yes, it's hard. People get up, need to go to the toilet, whatever. So I wrote the show on the Tools 1, and there was that much stuff. I had enough for 3 shows, and I went, well, I'll do the next show next year and that stuff. The night before I started the tour, I went, I don't like any of this. So I wrote a new show,
Yeah.
and then I loved the show that I wrote.
Yeah.
So I just done that. So it had nothing to do with On the Tools.
Well, that's the thing. You've somebody ringing you and saying some publicist going, "Have you got the title for the show? I really have to get publicity going." And you're thinking, "I've a test result coming back from a doctor, and you never know. This could be a show in it."
Yeah.
And so you're calling it tumour, and then the next day it's all clear, and you're going, "What am I going to do now?" So it's a sort of a tribute act to Fleetwood Mac. All of a sudden, tumours.
As a comedian, are you sort of hoping half the time that shit stuff happens to you? So that
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I know somebody that when they're stuck for stuff, they start doing things. They start going on, stupid tourist experience things that they would never go on where they live. So they'll go on maybe in Dublin, but if they were in Belfast, they would go on the open top bus tour and pretend they're a tourist, just to all this sort of stuff. To go and do the touristy things that you would never ever do. Go into the shops you'd never go into, like the souvenir shops down Carol's place down in Royal Avenue.
Yep.
Go in there. All this side, go bungee jumping, throw themselves off the Europa, all that kind of
is
thing.
the worst spy movie ever.
Yeah.
But that is like it can be quite easy to get stuck sometimes for material. So I mean, there's been days I've just been sat in front of a page and nothing comes.
If I ever try and do that, sit down to actually physically write
can't do
something, it doesn't work.
No.
It needs to go bump, and then I go, whoa.
I
And
need
you know
to-
me, I don't write anyway, so it's...
For me, it's what I'll do is like, I'll write one bullet point, which I know is the punchline, and I'll write the title of what the bit is about.
You have punchlines, right?
Yeah, I know. You wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think it from the 5
Were you on
applause.
last night, were you?
Yeah. I only got 5 applause breaks, but it doesn't matter. But then I'll talk
Yeah.
on stage, and I know where I'm going with it. But if I script everything out, it just comes across scripted.
scripted.
Yeah, that's the way I did. I don't have a punchline. I just go something about that. And then I'll go out and then normally my idea of where I'm going to go with it dies in its arse.
Yeah.
And then to salvage so I start, and that becomes the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the bit after. And you go, whoa. And then you go back and write it down. And then I've started writing it down, long form, after, once it's over. And you sit down and read it all out. Because then I know how long it is. And I can nip it out and make it a bit shorter and
Do you
snappier.
find anybody coming to see you because of the blame game and expecting it to be the way you are in the blame game?
Oh, yeah. That always happens.
Yeah.
Like, they know you for doing that. Like, if people know you for doing this,
Yeah.
Then
and what you're doing is stand-up is
Yeah.
different to
Yes,
this, then
yeah,
they go,
yeah.
hold on, that's not the same thing.
yeah, get
And,
you.
so they do. There are people coming and they're going, it's very dirty, isn't it? Or, it's only that language. And you're going, fuck you.
Yeah.
And, so there are, but at this stage, people know.
Yeah.
They're grand.
But like you've had people. How long have you been doing it?
What?
The comedy.
30 years as of 2 weeks.
So it's the big anniversary then.
Yeah, but I didn't want to do it like that.
No, you
It
don't
made me
want to
feel
be
old.
reminded. You don't want to be reminded.
We actually spoke about that last night because I was saying to Jade, I was like, next year will be, I'm 10 years into it, and you wouldn't believe, you just don't realise how quickly time flies. And he just walked past and went, fuck you. Just went off stage.
I seen you for the first time when I was 15.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus, talk about making somebody feel old.
And I
thought-
thought
He's
I-
67.
I thought you were hip, like I did. I was like, you know what?
I was then.
Yeah, you were really hip, like, you know what I mean. But and you were so different from like Kilty and stuff like that. I really liked it, So I
That's
remember.
because Paddy did that thing.
Yes.
And then Jake did his thing and
Yeah.
I did my thing.
Yeah.
Because there were only the three of us.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's all there was.
you could do that.
This is the thing, because I know Paddy would do the topical
Yeah.
sort of stuff. I've never seen Jake. Jake was kind of going from Empire by the time I started going. What would Jake have done?
A lot of sex stuff. Well, he did some. I'm talking about ages ago at the beginning. So he did do some political stuff. But yeah, it was sex stuff, relationship stuff was his thing.
I see.
Yeah, family,
That's right,
bigger
good.
family stuff, not
Yeah.
Yeah.
not his own family, didn't have a family then. But
I couldn't see him doing sex stuff. I only know him from, obviously, this is exactly what we're saying, blame game.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be weird
Yeah.
to see him doing
Yeah.
sex stuff.
It's one of them things you have to sort of see somebody live, but
Oh, 100%.
no matter what, you see people
100%.
live and you're like, wow. The worst thing that ever happened to me was I done Queens with you when I first started, and Meg Wilmot.
oh, Mike, he's
And
brilliant.
Meg
He's
fucking
just the
wrecked
best.
the room, and I was like in awe of him,
Yeah.
And
You ever like a battery?
he was
Very suck a man's cock.
he was just fucking he
shucks.
was just fucking brilliant, right?
Yeah.
So the thing came up with the Dave one night stand, and it was Meg, Jamone, Mickey Bartlett was doing
Yes.
warm up.
He did great on that, if I remember, yeah.
He was fucking brilliant that night. But I was like, I took my wife, and I was like, I could offer tickets. Mickey got me tickets. He was like, do you want to come? And I said, yeah. And I brought the wife, and I was going, oh, would you see me? Wilma, would you see me? Wilma, would you see? And he came out, and he was fucking blocked, right? And there was a family at the front, and he went, oh my God, he was all having sex. And the guy was like, oh, it's my daughter. And he went, well, you don't know what they say. And it fucking, he died in his hole. And I'm just looking at me going, you told me. And I was like, it was like, fuck me, I fucking was saying his praises, and everybody was sitting looking at me, like near enough turning around and going, you fucking said he was going to be great, he fucking shit. And he had a terrible gig, and I was like, fucking nobody got to see him.
And was he just fucking hammered?
He was just fucking
I've seen him be amazing hammered.
Right.
I've done gigs with him where he's been drinking whiskey and then throwing the glass over his shoulder and going, right, where was I?
And I always, I could see him being like, he would invite him to a party.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Stage style.
He's that type of rock and roll, like you just would lap him up, with stories about, like you hear stories, like I heard a story that him and Rich Hall done a play together,
Yeah.
and at the start of it, the plan was that we're going to think, but at the start of it was something like, have you got any secrets? But I think Meg says, have you got any cigarettes or something? I can't remember. There was something like that. And it ended up being a fucking big famous fucking scene. But I just thought he was great. And then that night he fucking died. And everybody's like, fuck. But I think it was just one of them ones. It was Belfast. It was a family. And they were like, we don't like what you fucking said. And then everybody's like, oh, you can't say it to a family. No,
Aye.
But
You must
I
have
did
seen.
Christmas shows with him in Jonglers. We did a whole run of Christmas shows, and it was just absolutely brilliant. There was a man on before us that used to do trumpet impressions. And he'd go on and sing, so he'd play a sort of wee tiny guitar and sing, and then he's innuendos in a clawhammer suit, like a dicky bow and everything. And there'd be a Christmas pudding hitting him on the face. And he wouldn't stop, it would just be sliding down his face. And then he started going, and Wilmot going, this guy's good.
Fuck me.
He's brilliant.
You must have seen some acts just be fucking brutal. Like, were there any actually go on drunk and they were just terrible?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Saw a guy, did a gig with a guy once in Manchester, and he was off his head, and I thought, he might be able to pull this off. You've been going for a long time, he might be able to do this. And he thought he'd be able to do it. No. And he got halfway through a set and then went back to the start of it.
Jesus Christ.
Because he was doing we were doing an early show and a late show. So he got in his mind, got confused that, I've already done,
show.
this is the next show. He blinked or took a drink or something, and he went, hey! And then he went straight back to them again and again. Then everybody thought it was hilarious because they thought, this is so clever, this is genius. And then he started going to people, what's your name? And he'd already spoken to them. What's your name? And he went, Gary. And he went, oh, Gary, what do you do? And, and then everybody thought, no, this guy is off his head.
And then they clicked on.
Yeah.
It was funny for a minute.
Yeah. There's another guy that started, there's an open spot once in Queens who came on, blocked. And he decided, we met him the week before, and he's a very serious sort of dude. And he came in and he says, I'm doing the open spot in the next show, and I just thought I'd come in and watch tonight's show, and so I'm very much looking forward to it. And we went, all right, dead on. And then he headed off. Then he came back the following week, and he was blocked, and he said, I had a bottle of rum to give myself some courage. And we went, oh, like a bottle of rum? And he went, well, one of those half bottles. I had one of those. And we went, oh. And his girlfriend's behind him, like this, and she had a camera and a tripod on him. So she sat up in the balcony, and he went on and started doing his set, and it was just dying. And at one point, he was humping a mic stand on the stage, lying down, like full on, just silence in the room, but Jesus the sound Christ. Of one man drunk.
Riding the
mic stand and hitting the, and I just walked on, stepped over him, took the mic from the floor, and went, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And then he lay there for a minute, and then I just kept talking, and then I thought, because he's thinking, obviously lying down, how am I going to get off? With some dignity, and you're going, the dignity was gone. Fuck that. And so he just sort of pushed himself backwards.
And to think that Mickey Bartlett's still gigging.
Yeah.
It's just podcast because I get mentioned on Shane's when you were talking about somebody that flies their hole from West Belfast.
Yeah, they said it was you.
Yeah. Your man. Come here.
Had to take it out of the show.
I need to find out who that is. I don't think I'd know him, but I want to know.
No, he's probably in MLA now.
Look at the amount of restraint you're showing to not go from a DUP. From a DUP.
No, the DUP wouldn't hump a mic stand on the stage because it wouldn't be something they would do.
Yeah. No.
They would do it behind closed doors in a hotel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they'd be married.
That is a sin, but I really like it.
I love how the DUP MLAs fucking hate us, but some Sinn Féin ones are like, we like it. That's converted me.
Touch with you?
They'll comment on your stuff, or like secretly they'll DM you and be like, we thumbs up.
See, when you say this secretly, does the message come in with balaclava on it?
Yeah.
This message will self-destruct.
I do. We get. Yeah, I get on like Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and you do have MLAs that it's DUP ones, UUP ones, Shinners, all sorts follow me.
I never get the UP ones. Fucking hate me.
I just remember we were doing the launch for the Belfast Comedy Festival. Yes. That was me, Nuala McKeever, and Big Tim, right? And they had a double-decker bus outside the Europa Hotel. Nobody was at the launch. And we walked out to get on it, and these two cars pulled in, and all these fucking big fucking cops got out. And next minute, Edmund Pooch got out. How are you, Tim? Just wanted to come over and say hello. And McGarry's face was like, you could just see, he was like, I've met him at an award ceremony here, and I wish he doesn't do this in the middle of the fucking street. His face dropped. He came over, well, Tim, and shook his hand, and he says, who's this young man? Hear me, I'm from West Belfast, fuck off. Oh, but Tim's face dropped, like, do you know what I mean? But I met Ian Jr. He was fucking up for it.
We have said this a million times.
He's on Cameo.
Is he?
Is he?
Yeah, he's on Cameo.
We need him to record an intro for this.
Definitely.
Because we've said, like, I wouldn't agree with his policies.
Yeah.
But if I was to go out for a drink with one politician, would probably be him.
Well, you'd start off.
It'd be in Dubai.
You'd start in the Crown, and then you'd end up in Bali.
Yeah.
On an elephant. Going, how did this happen?
Ian's like,
Van Morrison's beside you. You're like, this is
already.
fucking something.
Edward Swan's very good.
Ian's like, I've got this all sorted. We're paying for fuck all. Don't worry about it. I got it. You mentioned you did Jongleurs, which doesn't go anymore.
No.
They were infamous. I've heard a lot of
not
stories.
No.
Just for
There
being...
were two versions of it.
Right.
There was the original Jongleurs, and then it was sold, and then that was the one that didn't pay anybody.
Right. That was the second one.
That was the last version of it. And
Were
I
they,
was in the old one.
were they always chaotic Jongleurs, or sometimes?
No, the old... You mean the gigs?
Yes, yes, yes.
No, the old gigs were... some of them were really good. But they were quite, they were chicken in a basket, basically. You got food, so it was... It said outside each of the Jongleurs, it said, eat, drink, laugh. Laugh was last in the bill, and
Yeah.
you go, that says something. And so it was a machine for making money. It's like any of those big sort of...
Chains.
exactly. And, so you're being judged by a bar manager,
Was that who?
Yeah. They would fill in a form about how well you'd done, and you get marked out of 10, and then the video would go to London, and then if anybody dropped below a certain mark, then that would be reviewed, and then you get a wee phone call to find out what happened there, and you're going,
Did you ever get one of those phone
No,
calls?
no. One of those phone calls.
Oh, yeah, fair
Never
fucks.
got one of those phone calls.
That's a very corporate styled comedy.
Really corporate.
Almost too much.
Yeah. And they were in quite cold rooms. Not the rooms, but the venue. Like they were in shopping centre. One of them was in Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, underneath there, in the bar in there. So it was a modern sort of, horrible room. But a couple of the old ones were brilliant in London. Battersea was a brilliant room.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Lovely old room. That was the original one. And then there was one in Camden Market as well. That was really good. Yeah, that's the place where
Good spots,
the man
yeah.
with the Christmas pudding. Yeah. So.
And it would have been a nice fucking mince pie too, because fucking Camden fucking Market's fucking...
But
Is
some
it
of
fancy,
them,
is it?
but some of them were a nightmare. Like there was one in Southampton. It was, oh my god, it was just full of squatties and sailors, and it was rough. Like it was rough.
I done the Gong Show in the Comedy Store in London,
Yeah, I've done it too, yeah.
and there was a Millwall Football Supporters Club, and I went out with the whole thing, and I was like, I done a whole bit about going to a Millwall match, so that fucking straight away were like, oh right, Irish lad, and I was like, and it was great. I mean, I turned up at your stadium, and everybody was calling me Paddy, and I was going, they all went down the way to find out my name and all. They were like, got them on stage straight away. Black fella went on after me, didn't say anything, just
Straight up.
just fucking in it. Didn't give him a minute. Like, it was like a bear pit. That was the roughest gig I've ever done. That was the one where I went, and I might die here.
Right, and you did alright.
I done alright, but just get on side with them.
Yeah, the thing with gong shows is, like, you have to be funny within, like, 20 seconds. You need something.
I can't do that.
So, there's some great acts, though, that I know probably couldn't do a gong show because it takes, like, a minute for a punchline.
Yeah, to warm up, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Whereas
I know somebody that did, one of these showcase things in LA, and so you give them various lengths of time, and there's no MC. There's just a voice.
Yes.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the comedy stylings of, and then and it's the same intro for everybody. And she had a 3-minute spot in this gig,
Yeah.
and that was it. And then you progress from a 3-minute to a 5, and then a 7, but a 3, and you go, wow, you got a 3. Cool. And your first time here, that's something. She's gone 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And apparently there is a 2.
A
A 2-minute. And she'd invited casting directors and things to come along. And none of them turned up. None of them turned up. And there was literally, she said, one man and a dog in the crowd. And that was it.
Sounds like my gig in Lisburn.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
I just walked on and laughed and asked your man how he was doing, what his dog's name was. And she went, all the best, and walked off.
Oh, dog.
That's a real American style, though. They'll have, like, 20 people on, just doing, like, 5 minutes.
Well, it's Caroline's used to be like a rolling. The gig would start at 4 PM, and it would just run till 2 AM. So the audience would revolve. There was no MC. It was a DJ in a booth, and there was no headliner. It would sort of peak every so often.
Yeah.
And as the night got wore on, then bigger acts would come in. But big acts would come in sometimes early to try out material, and they were doing a show later on somewhere else.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a story one time where Robin Williams turned up at like a wee small comedy club in London.
Yeah.
Oh, he used to turn up at the store?
But it wasn't even the store. This was like just a wee. And
Oh,
he
I
just
know.
turned up.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And he just walked in and just fucking, like in the afternoon they were having the show and there was some guy like, what do you mean I can't gig? And they were like, Robin Williams is there, fuck off.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't, obviously never met him personally, obviously, but I always heard stories of other comedians talking that he was notorious for, like, if he was in the room, you wouldn't do your best joke. Because it could end up in one of Robin's sets.
Oh, right.
I think it happened once, and it just stuck.
It's stuck that he's done that.
It's something he was... again, it leave me loath to say it was him, but the story that I'd heard was that, yes, it was him or someone of his level came in the store, tried out some stuff, and the next night they were on a chat show, did that bit of stuff on a chat show. I think it's happening in the States, actually. And then it just came out, and then he realised as soon as he came off and got his agent to contact the comedian and said, offer him, pay him for the joke.
Yeah.
He said, I didn't mean to, it came out, it's a live thing. It was just,
There's a million of those stories, though.
and they're all attributed to different people, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's
you
almost
never know.
when someone gets to a certain level, where, as you said, a group of comedians is called a bidder.
Yep.
So we just start going, fuck it, he didn't even write that, he's fucking shite, he's made that, like, he stole that, I've seen that a million times, and we all do it. So it happens that any comedian gets to a certain level.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just gets, and if it did happen once, then it just sticks, and it's, you know, it's annoying.
So wee Willie from East Belfast and saying, nah, he steals jokes, fuck him.
Yeah.
I fucked my Jumanji DVD out there, fuck that. Didn't know that about him.
But fucking, I remember I did one of those showcase things you were talking about, not in America, but it was in London, but it was very much, there's no MC, and it was just roll call on.
Yeah.
And it was just for laughs.
Oh, yeah.
Just for Laughs
Audition.
Festival. It was an audition for it.
Yeah.
And the crowd was, there was about 15 acts on doing about 10 minutes each.
Yeah.
I was at the end. From the start, the crowd was dead. And the whole time, I'm like, why is the crowd dead? My agent was like, oh, I don't know. They're just weird. Turns out, and then asked someone from the staff, I was like, why is this crowd fucking giving nothing to anyone? And I went, oh, they've been here for 3 hours. I went, what? They're like, yeah, before the showcase, Frank Skinner was trying a new hour. And before him, James Acaster was doing his show. So they've watched an hour of Acaster, an hour of Frank Skinner, and then an hour of people trying tens, and I had to go on at the very end of it, and I fucking died.
You should have just came out with a big long leg at that stage and just went,
I fucking would have enjoyed that more, because that's performance art. Death, like my best stuff to nothing, and I was like, I'm not going to Canada now.
I know. I did one of those. I did the audition for that, and I got my wisdom teeth out in the Royal that day, and I bunged a couple of stitches in the back in there, and it was down in Dublin, and it was in the International, so it's like the size of this room, and I got up on stage to do the thing, and Eddie was saying it, this Eddie Bannon, and he introduced me, and I stood up, and I don't know whether it was the adrenaline, the whatever, but my heart rate went down, and then the next thing, the stitches just burst in my mouth. And I swear to God, it just went boom, and I went, oh, and I had a mouthful of blood, and I was going, if this comes out of my mouth, I'm not going to Montreal, or else I'm going to have to do this every night in Montreal because I think it's brilliant. Okay, let's put the vampire guy. And my Guinness swallowed it down, and went, oh, and then started doing the thing. Next thing, this wee smackhead comes up the stairs into the room, and he's saying, "Oh, Ronnie, what's going on here, Dan? Are you a comedian? What's going on?"
Jesus
and I'm going, "Oh, kind of busy." And you've, like you say, you've 7 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And the guys from Montreal are sitting there with their notebooks, and it was everything that went wrong could go wrong.
Yeah.
You weren't meant to go. You weren't meant to go.
I don't think I went that year. No, I went the following year. Yeah.
That's what you did do it.
I did
eventually.
it twice. Yeah.
And what's because that's like, for those who don't know, the Just for Laughs is one of the biggest comedy festivals in the world.
Yeah, well, Edinburgh's bigger, but it's supposed to be
outside of
it's
Edinburgh.
supposed to be this big sort of influential.
Yeah.
Only it used to be, and it's not really anymore.
No, but when you did it, was it that big?
It was.
Yeah.
But because it used to be that thing, and all the Americans came up, all the American producers would come on, and you'd be in the hotel in this place called the Delta, and everybody stayed there. So all the acts stayed there, all the producers stayed there. The really big producers, they stayed in the fancy Hyatt or whatever down the road in the 5-star. and we all stayed here, so everybody mingled. It was like a trade fair, you know, and you all had lanyards on with your name on it, and comedian. I was standing at the bar ordering a drink, and a guy walked up and picked up the lanyard while I'm fucking there. Didn't say hello, didn't nothing, just looked at the lanyard, looked like I got there, and he just put it down, and then looked like I'm a sofa in IKEA. He's just like, who are you? No use to me. I don't know, need you. I'm a comedian. I don't need to talk to comedian. I need to talk to producer. And he's, yeah, just like that.
That doesn't shock me.
No, it's like that. It's really corporate.
I get that in like Edinburgh sometimes. There's like sometimes you'll be talking to a comic
looking over your shoulder.
and they'll talk away to you, and then someone bigger comes in and they just...
Oh, they'll just actually stop mid-sentence and just walk away.
Yeah, that's happened to me so many times. And you're like,
Christ.
I was just saying hello.
I know.
But maybe that's the attitude.
But they're all...
need.
And the other thing is... there's a guy called Matt Kirschen. He's an English comedian, and he moved over to LA. Still there now. He's doing well, but he's on the stand-up circuit. He's not gone there to be a film star. I think he has. He's always everybody goes to LA to be a film star.
Yeah.
But he's doing really well on the circuit, and he said that they don't get self-deprecation. They don't get like what Irish and British comics do, where they go over and they go, "Oh, your show is amazing. I really enjoyed it. That was all right, you know." And they go, "Oh, you didn't like it. You thought it could be better."
Oh, they don't get that.
They don't understand that.
If you say I'm struggling on, like,
yeah.
you're struggling.
Doing all right.
That guy, don't book him.
They'd fucking hate me then.
After
a show.
Honest to God, they do. They can't understand it. They think you have, this guy's got psychological issues. You know, it's just all this. You have to be full on. You have to be, it was a great show.
Mickey would be great over
Oh, I would have. Here what is. Eyebrows fucking pointing.
You're pregnant? Because we're all pregnant.
Not like me, the wee fucking emo after a gig. Someone's like, that was a good show. I'm like, fuck off.
Drying your tears away.
And they don't understand slagging off as well. They don't understand that. You take a piss out of them. It's just like, what are you trying to say?
I found that in Canada. They don't mind crowd work if you talk to them and then like kind of make a joke of what you're both saying. But if you're going like, what the fuck are you? They're like, what's your problem?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, Canada was brilliant though. The audiences were really good. Apart from I was doing one gig, and it was going great. Except there was one guy at the front just sitting staring at me like that, like properly, like. And I said, you all right? You okay? And his wife was there, and she said, "Oh, he doesn't speak English." He said, "What?" He says, "Oh, he only speaks French." And then I go, "What the fuck did you bring him to the gig for?" And she went, "He wanted to come."
Fuck me.
I said, "How do you know?"
Would have been a guy we had to grab you after, but I do speak English, but I tell her I don't. She said, "Can't."
Yeah, swear to God. So, and in France, this is a mad thing that blew my head in Canada, because like French speaking in the Quebecois sort of part of Montreal, that side of France, or sorry, that side of Canada. So the French speaking Canadians, there's French speaking Canadian comedians. It's very hard to say.
Yeah.
And they're huge. They're massive. These guys play, massive
Arenas,
tours, arenas exactly, and nobody knows them in Canada
because they're
only
well-known
gigs to the French speaking audiences. It's not mad.
It is mental.
That's weird. But then I suppose that's such a niche circuit that if you get good at that, you'll become just the one comic that does that.
Somebody told me as well that the French that they speak in Canada is like medieval French. Do you know what I mean? If you were speaking to a French person, it would be like, ye tea has arrived, I see. His biscuits are quite mellifluous. Yes. Greetings upon thee, biscuit. And that's what, so French people go, and all these French Canadians think I'm speaking French. Yeah. No,
but it's medieval.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I go see a comic.
It's like being in Brasheen.
Just now have an iPhone.
Brasheen.
Yeah. It's like, thinking you speak English in Brasheen.
And you've gigged. This is why I love talking to you after the Empire, because you've gigged with pretty much everyone. Do you know what I mean? Most of my favourite comedians, I just ask you, I'm like, what are they like in real life?
But you were talking about comedians last night, and I'm going, who are they? You know? And we were just talking before the show about your woman, and I've never gigged with her yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they're all the new ones.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to see those because I've started doing all the little gigs, trying out material.
Yes, so you're in there.
And the tours, so I've seen people now over the last few weeks and months that I have never seen before.
Yeah. But so I remember one time, and you're the only person I know has ever come close to even meeting him. When I brought up Patrice O'Neal, and you just went, I know Patrice. I was like, you fucking what? Have you ever seen Patrice O'Neal? Because I know you don't watch a lot of it.
I think I went to the Gael Talk for her. She went to St. Louis Palomino, didn't she?
You'd love him if you ever saw.
I know who it is. I know who.
Oh, dude, I didn't know if you did because I know you don't
I'm
watch
missing
a
you,
lot of it. Fucking.
I don't watch, but I know who he is.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Was he one of those? The legend absolutely was true of how good he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was amazing. And he used to play jonglers. That's where I met him. First was in jonglers. He used to come over and do, a pile of gigs in England. And then he'd come to Empire, be one of the gigs he'd come and do. And he'd play there and play up in Derry. And it was just on the circuit. He was brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. But a lovely, lovely guy as well. Like, really nice man.
See, that's what surprised me because I assumed, I don't know why, that he would be a dickhead.
No,
No.
lovely man. Kind of intimidating, but that,
Just because he's that big.
Well, he's, if off stage, if you could make Patrice laugh, made you feel good.
Oh, so like
know what I
he
mean?
wouldn't give you a polite
No,
ha ha ha. He'd just do
he'd
that.
go, "Meh." And then, but if he did a thing, and then he would laugh, he'd go, "That's funny," and you go, "Yes, I made Patrice laugh." But yeah, no, he's a lovely guy. He had loads of friends in London. Andrew Maxwell was a big friend of his.
Yes, because he did Obey an Anthony,
Yeah,
I think,
big
before
mate
as well. I haven't seen him. I have never seen Maxwell before.
He's very good.
I need to see him. I think he's coming here.
Yeah, I love his stuff. Like, it's really, really good. Like,
Because
I supported him in Cookstown, and I was sitting watching the show, going, "These people don't know what they're watching." Like, it was just after William and Kate got married,
Yes.
and he'd done this whole, and he was getting nothing, and it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, it was brilliant. I was in stitches, but the crowd were like, "Do you not do anything about sausages?" It was just.
Oh, he does a good bit about sausage.
I know he does. But it was that
You're in the back, break out the sausage material, Maxwell.
No, but he just sat in a stool and this show was fucking brilliant, and there was like 80 people in it. Was like a comedy festival.
Yeah.
And I was like, these people don't even know what they're watching. It was like so disappointing.
I hate
it was
that
great to
when
watch.
you're getting frustrated at the crowd going that you're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
This guy's amazing.
Yeah. And do you know what? Simon walked outside, they were all going, he was good, that guy fella. He knew what he was doing, like. He knew what he was doing. You could tell he knew what he was doing. And I was like, yeah, he fucking does. Yeah.
Very confident. I'll give him that.
Yeah. He didn't mention nothing about the politics here, but he didn't say nothing, didn't say nothing.
I'll give him that. That's when you know that's
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
It wasn't for me, but he's very confident.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
very
always-
professional.
yeah.
You know when you've done bad and someone goes, well, I'll tell you what, I couldn't do that. I wouldn't have the
Oh, no.
bollocks to get up there.
I was standing with somebody after a gig. It was the worst. And we were chatting away, and they walked over to him and said, "That was brilliant." It was in a jonglers, actually, and they walked over and said, "That was brilliant. Oh, my God." Me and my friends were laughing so much. And then I turned to me and went, "Thanks for coming." Okay, yeah.
I always talk about the one where I made it into the Irish Times, and I done a gig at the
For what?
International.
For Robin or what?
No, well, you would think that.
Suspect.
But I done a gig in the International, and they were there to see Jason,
Oh, right, yeah.
and I just
Mumford?
happened. No,
Burn.
Bourne.
Oh, right,
and I just happened to be on that night, and doing fucking 10 minutes. But I had this bit, you probably never ever seen it. I used to wear a Robert De Niro t-shirt, and I used to make it sad Pacino, happy Pacino.
I have seen this,
You've
yeah.
seen it, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big bit.
Put a hat on, cappuccino.
See, that's why
That's
this man's
right,
still
that's
in
right,
it.
right.
He's still in it.
That's the years of experience.
But I got up and I done it, and the room went fucking wild for it. They loved it, and then I just fucking done it. So the guy came up and he says, "Look, I'm here to review him, but I'm going to give you a mention. What's your name?" And I told him, and I thought he wrote it down. And then who was it? It was Aidan Bishop, I think, was running the night. And Aidan Bishop sent me a message. He says, "That guy done the review on you. He sent it to me to send to you, but I don't think you want to read it." And I was like, "Is it bad?" And he was like, "No, it's good. It's just not you." And I went, "What?" He wrote Paddy McGahey.
How did they get the guy out of McDonald's?
I don't know. So I think he hasn't understood what I said.
Yeah.
And he's went, Paddy, comedian, Belfast, not well known. And Paddy McGahey came up for something.
Yeah.
And he wrote the whole thing about Paddy McGahey. And it was like, it's great. He's like, this guy come on stage and he done this whole thing with a t-shirt. He's just amazing and his whole accent and all. And I sent Paddy McGahey and he was like, it's not great, sure. I was like, fuck you.
I have
Can
never
I borrow your t-shirt?
I have never seen any one comedian's name fucked up
Oh, yeah.
as regularly as yours is.
Mine's is
And
all
yours
the
isn't hard.
All the time.
You're McDonald,
O'Donnell.
Donnelly,
Donnelly.
Pat McDonald.
Yeah.
His name, even I've seen like
O'Connell,
articles about
I
your
think.
arena show.
Yeah.
Spelt wrong.
Yeah, and O'Connell, and then it's fucking weird.
I'll get it. Sometimes they'll call me William Thomas.
Carl Spain give me a
That's
lot
about
of
his
shit
worst.
a lot of years ago because I never changed my name because Pat McDonald.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "Do you never think of changing your name?"
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"No, because fucking my dad's adopted, and this is the name I got, and I'm fucking keeping it. It's my slave name, you know." And he was like, "Right," and I think from that, it's just been people fucking it up.
Yeah.
And it's because of the karma. I should have fucking changed it. Sure, like some fucking thing put up and went, "Yeah, coming to the fucking SSE arena, Pat McDonald from Father Ted."
No.
And we've messaged him and like, "It's not him. It's not him. It's me."
Who's
And
put that up?
some fucking thing on Twitter, but it's like sort of like Entertainment's 24, but it's not Demons, but
Yeah,
it's something
right,
similar.
yeah.
And there's like, "Coming to the SS arena, the guy from Father Ted," and you're like, "No, it's not him."
Pat's shouting himself at the minute.
Fucking doing well, man.
Did you ever take advantage of that when you started a gigs off the back of people mixing it up?
The only time the stand booked me for a Sunday night,
Right. Which is a big
and
that's a
I
weekend.
hadn't done the stand fucking Red Raw. I hadn't done open mic in it.
Yeah.
And I got a message, "Can you come over and do Sunday night with Tom Stade?" And I was like, "I'll think about it." I was only doing it like fucking 2 years.
Yeah.
I went over and I was in like the policeman's apartments and all. They gave me an apartment and they picked me up from the airport and all. And it's like, and I went out and done the gig. And I done okay, but I could tell from the girl that was the booker standing in the back of the room going,
Doesn't look like he doesn't follow Ted.
"Fuck, he's get younger and fatter, hasn't he?" And then I didn't get booked for ages in it. But
You reckon that's what it was?
yeah.
Because I got offered a thing from the agent. I mean, it says voiceover for an advert. Yeah. And so she sent me through the scripts, and I started reading through the scripts, and I went, "That's okay, I can do that." Piece of piss. And then I read there was another document on it for the client, because the ad agency were trying to sell me and the ads to the client. And so there was a profile of me attached to the scripts. It wasn't me. It was a profile of Colin Murray, the DJ and now
BBC.
Countdown presenter.
Yes.
And but he's a Radio 1 DJ then. And the whole thing about his broadcast history, and I thought, they're not going to see me.
It's just a voice.
Yeah. Will they know? And I thought, does Colin even need to know?
Did you do it?
Will they be too embarrassed
Did you do
in
it?
the ad agency to admit that they'd made a mistake, or will they go, "Oh no, that's who we meant all along"? And I would owned up to it, and I said, "Nah, this isn't for me. This is for Colin Murray." And I was sort of really embarrassed whoever the ad agency was.
Oh, we shouldn't have said that. Dude.
Yeah.
We're so sorry. And I was like,
Said it, "Don't worry,
I
didn't
just
tell
said
anybody else,
nothing.
but I am available.
how many Harp ads did you do?
One big one that was shot in Spain.
Which was the beach one, which was meant to be Port Rush.
The beach one was supposed to be Port Rush, and it
Yeah.
was shot in north of Spain on the hottest day. It was like 41 degrees.
There was polar bears in that, wasn't
And
there?
a camel. No, that was another one. That was in Dublin. Then we did 3 other ones in Dublin.
Yeah.
For the Harp Ice.
I always remember. I
I
liked your Harp
remember all
ads.
these, yeah.
Yeah.
The Harp ads were my
Because the
favourite
original Harp ad, you
ads.
see, that was why.
I'll not tell you how old I was when I saw it, but yeah, I
Yeah.
remember all this.
Well, the original Harp ad, your parents had maybe just met. So it was based on the really old one, and it was very funny at the time.
Great.
But no, it was great fun doing those.
And how come it was meant? Did you say it was meant to be in Port Rush? How did it end up being in Spain?
Because it wasn't raining.
They needed somewhere where the potential that it wouldn't even rain even in the summer.
Right.
It had to
okay.
be beautiful looking beach. It had to be,
Because the whole
because you could do Port Royal on a summer's day like this summer.
you would get
amazing,
nowhere better. Yeah.
amazing. But it'll be bunged full of people, and you can't. So, and you might hear a flute band in the background, and you can't.
I'm missing a trick. Or like, I mean, that's
That would make me
authentic.
buy a Harp.
It'd make me not.
I was expecting a wee phone call from the Orange Order to be leading the parade after I'd done the Harp ads. I thought, I should have been at the front, waving, leading the temperance lodges.
Get every orange man that looks like a dart player to walk behind him.
So that's every orange man, by the way.
It's mad how popular it is in that section of the community, considering it's made in Dundalk.
Yeah.
That's
It's an
the weird
Irish thing,
yeah.
and it's a harp single. That's the whole.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, that's because outside of like where I grew up, no one really seems to drink it. But where I'm from is like everyone fucking drinks Harp.
Oh no, everybody. It doesn't sell down south. It's up here.
Yeah.
It's massive.
A Harp Ice is a genuinely great pint. Like normal Harp can be
I
hit or
can't do
miss.
really cold drinks.
No.
Can't do. I can't. I'm doing that with like, just standing in a pub.
Yeah.
So because of your teeth?
No, holding the fucking thing. I
just
can't
the
stand
coldness
like
of
that.
it?
Yeah. A freezing Harp Ice is fucking great.
Americans are mad for that freezing
Oh,
cold.
they take them out of the freezer.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would be like that
Or
too.
Aussies with their, but at least the Australians have the wee cuff,
Tiny one.
wee cuff thing that you can put around it.
Oh, like almost like a wee tea cozy.
Yeah, wee spongy thing so you can hold it.
So your
Yeah.
hands not sticking
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. I was in Australia, I'm drinking. Oh fuck! It's stuck.
The thing is, they're a great idea if you are sitting on one of them lovely beaches. And,
Well,
you know,
yes.
soft
Yeah.
heart. Like, but when you come in out of the cold,
Aye, well,
here, and you're like, fuck's sake, it's
Or you're having one of those in a smoking area
Yeah.
with the smallest super sir in the world nailed to the wall.
Yeah.
Hit the button there, mate. Will you hit the button there, will you?
Because that's even the Harp Ice glasses. I think they keep them in that like special fridge.
Yes.
Where it's like
They do, yeah.
not
have one of
freezing
them?
temperature. I don't have one, but I've seen. I think the Empire has one,
Yeah.
and they just take it out of that wee fridge.
Yeah, yeah.
You should
Oh,
have
like, you know,
one.
like with
I don't get
tongs,
everything
looking
for
at it
free.
out,
Yeah.
with a mask on.
Tongs. Out of reactor.
But we'll talk about. You're doing the Opera House as your big Belfast. show this year?
Yeah. I Opera House on the 29th, 29th of June, 30th of June, and the 1st of July. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, you've done the Opera House before.
I've done the Opera House a couple of times, but not my own. Actually, come to think of it,
Really?
no, I've only done. I did a couple of package shows. Did a double header thing in there with Neil. Myself, Neil did a thing in there, and then we did a blame game stand up thing. We did 2 or 3 nights in there.
So that you, Neil, Tim.
Yeah, and Jake.
Jake.
And yeah, a couple of other bits and pieces of stuff. We've done it. Supported Keelty in it years ago with Lee Mack, and yeah, so
Yeah.
all-
Well, that's nice to do it yourself. Like,
But
Yeah.
first time on my own, so actually I've never thought of that until today.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a
30
brilliant
years,
room.
like,
It's a brilliant
yeah.
room.
Fox. I know, 30
To
years.
sit in is just brilliant.
yeah.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
be in the audience that isn't panto.
I think it's my second favourite of the big rooms.
Where's the favourite?
Waterfront.
Oh, really?
I just love that. I don't know what it is. I just love the sound when like the laugh just hits you in a big wave.
Oh, the laugh from like an old theatre is like the Getty in Dublin. Jesus Christ. That is
Blow you away.
Oh,
It's
it's,
like Belfort.
unbelievable. And like we did the panelized this show they called The Panel. You wouldn't remember it. And it was on the RTE as well. And
Oh, would be
Daddy
watching
would
it.
remember.
and it was a huge show at one point. It was just massive, and it was me and Maxwell and Neil, and originally it was Dara and Ed, and it was just sitting around doing this, but about the news. And we did a live show in the 3 nights in the Olympia, and fucking hell,
Scary.
oh my god, the safety curtain was down, so big, heavy, you know, that thick steel yoke comes down, so you're sitting in behind that. The idea was all theatre, and there was a director and everything, and so we're sitting at the desk that's from the TV show. We've got the set from the TV show. They've got a blank screen out front. They're playing a compilation of stuff, clips from the show to the audience. We can't hear anything. We can only hear that. And then the theme music starts, and it's the Stone Roses Waterfall starts.
Tune.
And that's the only reason I took the gig, to be perfectly honest with you. Show me the pilot, swear to God, show me the pilot, and that was the theme tune. I said, I don't care what happens after this, I'm in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Honestly,
the theme of the show. Oh.
That was the theme tune. And so it starts playing, and we're going, oh, we're really nervous because we hadn't done a live thing before. And then the next thing, the safety curtain went up, and it went up that much, and that fucking noise that came in, we all just looked at each other like this. It was a roar. Like, I mean, it was the closest ever to being like proper rock and roll
Yeah.
ever. And the thing went up, and this went on for minutes.
You just didn't want it to
No, we
finish.
didn't want to open our mouths and ruin it. Because we were just, Max was looking at stuff, he says, this is shit. This is going to ruin it. But yeah, that noise from an old theatre of that, because it's built like that, the acoustics are amazing. And I didn't get that in the Waterfront. I found that.
Really?
Yeah, because it's built for sound going out.
Yeah.
Because it's built as a concert hall, and concert halls are like that. They're amazing
Take
if you have
stuff.
an orchestra there.
Anything doesn't come back.
It's why I don't like Ulster Hall as much. It's because it's harder to hear, because that sound just goes straight
everywhere,
up.
yeah.
So even if you get a laugh, like it doesn't last.
I
You have to
hated
keep
doing it
working.
until your man told me where to stand and put an X on the stage. And then I had a
Every
trick
time I've
again.
done
It was
stand
like,
up at it, I didn't enjoy it. And then we did our live show of this in the Ulster Hall. And it was one of the best
ever
shows we have
The
ever
man
had.
showed us where you stand on the stage. He was like, "No, see if you're here." And here's us. Where was this guy when we fucking done the fucking
There's a sweet
shows?
spot in every stage.
Yeah.
And if you walk around
Yeah.
without a mic,
Yeah.
and if you walk around and just go bop, 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 and you'll hit a spot, it's a dead spot. And it's absolute, there's no echo.
Yeah.
And it's the weirdest thing. Try it the next time you're doing a big room, like a big theatre.
Yeah.
Mad.
And you walk around, you just pop, 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 and you'll hit this spot where it just, there's no
That's a
echo,
great
no
tip.
nothing, and it's dead, and you go, whoa. And it's not necessarily the best place to stand, because
No.
you're amplified, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's just a really weird feeling.
Feeling now to get it.
Yeah.
Because that show that show went so natural for us that people were like, "Did you guys script and rehearse that show?"
Sometimes things just fall out.
Yeah, and because we do this every week, I know when you're going somewhere with something, and I know when to cut in.
Do you know when to shut up?
Yeah, I know when to stop.
You know
and
when
it's the
to
same.
speak.
You don't, but I do. So, and it just works so.
As long as one
well.
person's driving the bus, that's all.
So, yeah.
But that's what happens in like a Blame Game's the same because we've known each other for years, especially me and Neil, because we did the panel as well. So we know exactly where each other's going, and sometimes
When you two go off
we're
on
going
one,
in the
like,
same
there's
direction.
no. It's just you're sitting back watching it and just going.
It's great.
I think the first time I done it, like it was really like I was sitting going. Do you know that way?
For me, it was like, what was you? How did you feel being on that show for the first time? Because it is an institution of comedy here.
I mean, I
is the
watched
Blame
it,
Game.
so it was one of them ones.
Yeah.
It was like for me, it was just being on it, and I say you felt intimidated is the wrong thing to say, but you were maybe in
You
awe a
feel
wee
the
bit,
weight of what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last one I done there, it was great. I really enjoyed that one. I think it's just because it's get past that stage.
Yeah.
You know, we've done, that's the third one, and it was like, you know what, it's good just to be here. And
Yeah.
I sort of knew what way to do it.
Yeah, because for me it was like a big. I used to set up because when I was on, I would have been young when it started. Do you know what I mean? About
16 years. we've been doing it.
Yeah, really. So I'd have been about 10, 11. So I used to sit up and watch it with my mum. So it was a big thing for me to finally be on it.
Yeah.
To the point I was but everyone was so helpful.
Yeah.
When I so nice to me. Neil was super nice.
If they showed the stuff that's said and the crack you had
Yeah.
when the cameras aren't rolling,
Yeah.
I mean, it's gold dust.
I
Isn't it?
know, but he, like, yeah, can't go out for legal reasons.
Yeah.
It's
But I mean, it's great. Like the audience love that. Like
Yeah.
the messages I
But
got
that's
from
the
people,
thing,
they were like,
you because there are people in the room, and so you mess around with them, and they know then they're part of this,
yeah.
and it's stuff that's never going to go out, and they'll be able to tell their mates about it, and so it's like a wee gig, a wee separate, a wee mini gig on top of the show.
Yeah.
And then there's stuff during the recording as well that we deliberately know that's not going to go out, but we've gone down this route. Let's fucking
Yeah.
for a wee detour, and but sometimes it's hard when you do that. Like if you go down, especially if you go down, like if you start a sex thing and you go down a route there, and it's never going to go out. So then you have to get clean again, and then that's really hard. And
'Cause
I've seen
you've
loads,
went dirty.
yeah. So I've seen lots of people who've never done TV before or aren't used to doing TV do that, and you go, no, you're going to make this difficult for everybody. You can't. You have to still sort of try and keep close to the line.
Yeah.
Because then it's easier to get back. Because then when you start doing the stuff that can go on TV, people go, "Oh, she's boring. It's good."
Talk
The
about
people in
riding
the
again.
studio.
Well, a lot of people did send me messages saying, "Fuck me, you weren't really yourself on there, were you?" Like, and I'm like, "You watch Mudblood. Like, there's no censors in this. There, do you know
People
what I
don't
mean?
get like
Yeah, they
TV
don't.
is a different
It's
animal.
a different thing.
And
You can't.
I'm like, you know, so you say to people and they go, "Well, what's your man like? What's your man like?" And I'm like, "Go fucking see them live." The many
There's
people,
no equivalent to
the
life.
many people I've sent to the live shows now, even if it's not mine, like I
Yeah.
just go and watch live comedy.
Yeah.
Go and watch these people and then come back and tell me you think somebody's a dickhead.
Honestly,
Go and watch
yeah.
them. And they go, fucking hell, he was fucking great. And I was like, yeah, there's a fucking reason why the man's sitting there doing that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
fucking
DVDs,
brutal on these.
Yeah.
But I don't take that. If someone says I'm sure I don't take it as an insult because I know I'm not as good as the people who've been doing it way longer. Stand up. If someone says I'm shit, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I know I'm good at that. I know that's what I'm
I
good
don't
at.
think you're, no, we've proved a point on here when you haven't been on. People's like, nah, well, he's not.
Because I'll take a lot of
Well,
abuse.
he's good.
Some people who listen to this fucking hate me.
Right.
But then I'll do 1 week I'm not on.
And they're like, where's Willie? Bring him back.
All you get is ask that. So you can't win.
But fuck them.
Every night.
Fuck them. Not everybody can like you. Like, what kind of person does everybody likes them?
Yeah.
How bland is that? How fucking boring do you have to be for everybody to like it.
No.
Like to have boys going, "Oh man, he's fucking class," and then somebody going, "Well, I think you're right. He is absolutely
You know
super.
what?
He really is."
The people
We had him in church last week, and he rocked. I must say, he wasn't bad up a fucking club, was too.
But no, you're right. And
Away.
most of the ones that slavering, like I've looked at some of the things like people, like a fella put up, man, Polly's as funny as a mouse card, and the cunt that mentioned below it, both of them didn't have their names or a face up.
No.
One was called Rebel, and the other one was called fucking My Dog Sim or something. Do you know?
Yeah.
And you're going, is this some more comedian being a cunt? Like, do you know what I mean?
Some people don't like it.
So also, there's a thing as being chronically online, where you're just online all the time and you're just a raging bastard.
Why have this fucking picture of something else and not your name? Do you know what I mean?
Because people are literally professional trolls.
It's like lamb behind the chair going, "Oh, your ma." Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's
So
fucking,
those people, they're exactly those people. They're the people that sat in the back of class when a teacher was trying to do something. Going, "Ugh!"
yeah. That
And then
gets
walk on
scared
class,
to
walk
see
on class, walk on class. Oh yeah.
But
I-
what if everybody did like it? You'd just be the equivalent of fucking Norway. I mean,
Exactly.
nobody.
Norway's famously likable, isn't it? Who doesn't like Norway?
Norwegians.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Norway of comedy.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck about them because they're not interested.
I'm 2% Norwegian, and so are you, by the looks of it. Then same parents, kid.
Fuck the Norwegians.
Yeah, 2% Norwegian.
Did you do one of your?
I done the DNA. thing.
I'm 2% Finnish.
Finish.
Yeah.
So I 2% Norwegian, 2% Welsh, 8% fucking Scottish, and then the rest all Irish.
I'll be amazed
Over
if I'm anything past the Woodstock Road, like.
Well, I'm-
You're going to be surprised.
Yeah.
You're going to be surprised.
Mate, I look like every dude from East Belfast
You're
ever.
going, no.
2%. I'm 2% Finnish. 1%. What's it? 3%. 2%. Genghis Khan gene.
Fuck
Yeah, it's
off.
around the Genghis Khan one.
No way.
Yeah, it's Central Europe. Yeah, and the rest, not even Scottish, not even
Just
English,
Irish. Yeah.
Like I am so inbred.
That's
swear to God.
That's like, wouldn't you love to do it on Jerry Adams just to see?
How pretty he is.
Just to see. Just like, no, because he'd be going 99%, 99% the
Yeah.
fucking thing. You'd love to see what it
Did you
would
have
be.
any British, didn't you?
Do you know what? We do have, like, because I went back, like, my ma's once, they're all like, no, we're fucking, but I went back, they're from Yorkshire, but that didn't come up. And then my ma said to say the Welsh comes from, but then also my dad's great granny was born in Paris, and they were French, and as her mum was French, but her dad then was from Switzerland. But none of that came
I
up.
know
and
it's
yet-
all bollocks.
So you're going to
my
yourself,
granddad's from
what-
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Like he's second generation Irish, but he was from
Yeah.
Liverpool, and then my mum's family, I think, as well. There's some Yorkshire connection or North of England connection as well, and yeah, there has to be Scottish in there somewhere.
Yeah, has to be. But I said to my ma was like, nah, they must have got boats and took people from Ireland and brought them over there, and then the family,
them, then brought them back.
and then they went, no, we're Irish, we're heading back, and I was like, aye, fucking dead on.
But then again, that could be where the Norway comes from, because the Vikings came into England,
Yeah,
and that's
then-
where the ginger gene
and
was
beer as
introduced.
well, yeah.
Yeah. So that
They
could be
came
where
here,
that is.
they came here just done sort of attacking. They didn't rape anybody.
The dead. The dead. I was trying to avoid using that word,
Yeah.
Ollie, straight into it.
It's how to kill a gig in one word.
See, there's so many times I'll dance around the subject and
Yeah.
he's just straight into it.
That's the
I'm trying to playfully do it, but he's like, I fucking know. Have you ever, I think everyone's had it, have you ever done a gig and it's going well and then you just say the wrong thing?
You
And the
last
room.
Thursday.
What's that?
You last Thursday.
Last Thursday I did it. I'm not going to say what I did.
Okay.
Oh, go on, please.
No, because
No, because I'm still working on the bit. I'm still
Oh, so
working
it's
on the
gonna be a
bit.
bit?
It's a bit, and I believe in the bit. I'm not doing it right yet. But I mean, like, fucking really doing well on Thursday. And then was like, of this new closer, I believe it's funny. Did it. Silence. But then it was the closer, so I was like, all right,
was
thank
it
you.
the
See you later.
topic?
I think it was the punchline.
A word.
It was a word.
They were laughing the whole way through it.
Yeah.
And, it was just
And
like-
it's a callback to a bit I do at the start
So,
as
like,
well.
that was a wee bit too much, William.
I think so. I just don't think I'm approaching it right. I'm still working on it. But last Thursday's my example. I mean, I was literally like laughs the whole time. Dead silence. I left the room to like.
You didn't think of pulling something out of the bag just to get that last laugh back?
It was that awkward. I was like, I'm fucking off. The rest of the
Did you
show.
drop
was
the
good.
mic and walk away?
I can't just put it back. I was like, cheers.
And did anybody clap or anything?
Yeah. So,
Oh, well, that's all right. I
No,
thought
no.
like everybody was like, ah!
no,
He's away!
it wasn't horrifying because it wasn't like he's trying to be dark. It was just they didn't like it, so they kind of just went like that for the last bit. And I was like, thank you everyone. And I was that scundered bad. I was like, I'm not.
Was it
even trying to
about
get
a hunger
anything
striker?
else. No. It was about me. The joke is about me.
Fuck. That's worse.
Right.
When you do something about yourself and they're like, no, we're not taking
They're
that.
like,
They're
that's
going,
too far. I'm like, but
It's
I'm
me.
the
They're getting
target.
offended on your behalf.
Yes. So
They feel like they can't
I got
laugh at
called
you.
ableist after a show once
Did you?
because I did my cerebral palsy material and they were like, that's ableist. I'm like, but
In what sense?
they were like, you said the word spastic and you were making disabled jokes, and I'm like, but they were about me.
Yeah.
I have this. What I have is
Ownership
literally
of the-
where the word spastic comes from. I have spastic hemiplegia, and they were like, still shouldn't say it, and I'm like, you fuck off. What fuck you like? You don't get to tell me no. But a lot of people get offended
Wow.
at me.
Oh no, absolutely, yeah. There was an act on the Empire a couple of weeks ago, and I was emceeing him, and he has dyspraxia, and he was doing material.
Yes,
and
I know him.
people shouldn't be saying that. They go, he's the only person in the room allowed to say that. And
Is this guy just got really big?
Kinda, yeah.
He's just one thing.
He's fucking great.
Yeah,
He's
no,
fucking great.
yeah.
he was brilliant.
Yeah.
But not everyone in him, by the way. It was like,
Yeah.
But there were little pockets in the room because he came off and he said that went a bit weird. And I
Yeah.
explained to him why, and he
Yeah.
went, "Oh, they didn't, did they?" I went, yeah. And they were getting offended for you.
And that's what I've learned is like when I used to kind of make disabled jokes, people would be awkward. Whereas now, if I just double down almost, they go with it more because you really hammer it home.
Yeah, but they're about
But they are about.
they're about you, and they're about
Yes.
how people treat you or their expectations of somebody that has a disability.
Yes.
Or that labelled a disability.
Yeah.
And so that's the jokes. They're not like, I'm in a wheelchair, walk on Egypt.
Yeah. I'm not. They're normally like a twist on how people treat me, but still, some people are just like, that's too much.
Yeah.
You certainly have a story. I don't know what it is. You definitely have done this.
What's that?
Told a joke and it's killed the like.
So
Just
are you poking a hornet's nest here?
Oh yeah. I'm trying to think.
It's lovely to be on the last of these podcasts.
That says
Before it
in
gets
even
cancelled.
top 50 worst things we have said.
No, the one that stands out for me wasn't me, but it was Gary Lynch, and we get booked to do this thing
I've just remembered one, but go ahead.
in Banbridge, and the front row were from a nursing home or a fucking hospice.
Right.
So this was the thing of the gig. It was for people who were in the hospice and their families. And I arrived and I was like, what the fuck's this? And they were like, oh, this is what this wee theatre's all about. It's about embracing people with disabilities, people who are coming to the end of their life, and we try and bring some light into the... And I was like, have I to go out and tell jokes? And they were like, yeah. And I looked out and they were on ventilators, like full-on wheelchairs, and nurses with them. And I was going, fuck, right? And Gary Lynch came up in and he was like, so, what's the crack? He's from Dublin, right? It's really dark. And he me, all right, Gary, have you seen the audience? And he looked at me and he went, fucking perfect. And I went, what? And here he was, that'd be great, And he went out and he went, how's it going, everybody? How are you? And all. No, you won't be walking out of my gig anyway. and I was out the back and I actually held myself because I went, I'm going to wet myself with nerves here. And he went, I went to see Stephen Hawking's show last week in the Point Theatre in Dublin. He says, the first half was shite. It was all about the fucking quantum physics in the fucking universe. He says, but the second half was amazing because he started doing impersonations. He says, the Michael Jackson one was to die for. He says, I just can't control my feet. And I went, oh fuck, we're going to get cancelled. And I looked out and the guy on the ventilator was fucking shaking with laughter, right? And all the ones in the wheelchair were all fucking laughing. And the nurses and the families were like that, looking at it. And Gary came out and went, they're warmed up, away you go. And I was like, I am not. I was out there and I went, how's it going? I couldn't do anything. I literally couldn't do anything.
Wow.
Especially after he done that.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, like, they were talking about the guy in the wheelchair and the ventilator. He had like 3 weeks left to live or something. And he was like, that was amazing, your man's stuff. I loved his stuff. You were shit. But he said, your man was amazing, you know. That whole Michael Jackson bit, and all I was going, oh my god, this is a fucking nightmare. But I literally was panicking out the back of the stage. I was like, this is nuts. Nobody prepared me for that. You know, I hear there's no way I'm going out to go, here, kids are bastards, aren't they? Fucking trying to get on with kids. I mean, like, these people are down. And that was the weirdest gig I ever done. But him doing that, I had to fucking bow down to him. I was like, fair fucking play to you, because I couldn't have done that.
Wow.
The only one I can think of, and this ruined the gig for everyone. No, I won't name him, right? Because
it wasn't me then?
No, it wasn't you. You were at the show.
Right.
Me and you were both on.
Right.
And it was in a bar in the Ormer Road. That's all I'll say. You know the story. So this guy, like, the crowd was kind of warmed up. Not amazing. There was about 30 in about a 150-seater room, so it wasn't packed. But there was like a little crowd, and they were enjoying the show. A little bit of an atmosphere. You were MCing, so you bring this act on.
Oh, fuck off.
And this guy comes on, sits down, and the first thing he says, there's a couple in the front row, and he goes to the guy, what are you doing with your arm around her? Sure, she's a fat, ugly bitch. Silence, complete fucking, to the point me and you were looking at each other like,
Yeah.
Did he just say
white? And then he goes on, does his act, and she gets up, tear, like you can see down the room, she is in fucking floods of tears, runs out, knocks over drinks and all, and he doesn't change his act. So the entire room's just in stunned silence as he's being like, fucking traffic's mad, isn't it? It was it was mental.
Had he planned this before he went out, or?
I don't know. I do not know if he just said it and thought this would be great.
I have blanked that night out because I normally remember things, but people ask me what happened previous to that. Was your woman shouting out? And I can't remember.
I can tell you, no. She was just there. He was with his arm around his wife, having a drink. She was having a little wine. It wasn't like it was
totally
a rowdy
unprovoked.
crowd. Completely. It wasn't like it was a big rowdy night and everyone's kicking off and she's shouting, at which
Fucking
point you can kind of say that. He just came down, said it, and I think it was me, you, and Magic George were in the back of the room, like what? It was like we were seeing 9/11 on the TV. We were like, "Oh my god, no!"
But this is the thing. Like, you know, you tell these stories and stuff, and loads of people won't go to comedy because they think that's what it is.
Yeah, no, there's people.
And they're terrified of sitting. I'm not sitting there. Yeah. And these are really rare.
Yeah.
Stories.
Yeah.
The only time you pull something like that out is if they are really overstepping the line, and even then
you won't go there.
No.
You always deal with what you're given.
Yes.
You don't just randomly abuse people.
You don't just go, your wife's a fat stinking bitch.
Does he do that in the car, just driving down the road? Just putting down the, see how old I am? I went like that.
Hand signals.
To put your foot through the floor and just run with it like a Flintstones.
I done the Empire one night and I went out and normally you're walking up them steps, you hear noise. And it was really quiet this night, but there was loads of people in, and I was going, fuck, it's really quiet. And I went up, and the first table I came to is, well, what do you do? And he's like, I work in a cafe. You work in a cafe? What's your favourite type of soda? And fucking blah, blah, blah. And here he was, but it's a cafe for disabled people. And I was like, right, okay, there's nothing funny about that. And the girl went, why, what would be funny about it that was with him? And I went, no, nothing. That's why I'm cutting it off here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to move on. Why are you not asking me what I do? And I says, what do you do? And she went, I work in his cafe. And I went, are you disabled? And she went, yeah. And here's me, well, that's okay. Then I understand that. That's good. It's great what you're doing. All well done. Blah, blah, blah. I went up here. What do you do for a living? I work with disabled children. And your woman at the table went, say something funny about that. And I went, I didn't even say anything funny about you. And you are disabled. So why would I slag the disabled people that I don't know that she works with? And it was weird as fuck. It was like the only time in the Empire where I went, fuck me. And then I went over to this fucking table over here and I was like, well, what's the crack with you? And this guy went, that's my wife, she's from India. I bought her. She came by boat. And I went, oh my fucking god, what the fuck has happened? Like it was like, and he was like, she does what she's fucking told. And I was like this at this stage. I was like, you are a no good cunt. And I came off and I was like, I was like, Jane, I'm so sorry I had to say her. You were fucking right, what you say? Because when I said that, it was a big applause.
Yeah.
He was just being an absolute cunt, his wife.
Aye.
And I was like, Jane, I don't want him in the room when I go back on. Get him out the fuck. And she was like, oh, there's a big group of them, blah, blah, blah. And she says, I'll get into the doorman.
They weren't all together, were they?
Oh, it was
the weirdest collection.
What a table of laughs that is.
I swear to God.
People are doing good stuff, working for the table people, and then it's racist.
Yeah, Bernard Manning's just in the front.
So I was like, what the fuck is the crack here? Like, so I was going, where did the tickets get sold? Was there somebody bought them as a collection and just give it out to every cunt in the world? Like, it was just one. It was the only night it ever happened to me in the Empire. And I was like, how am I going to pull this back? And then fucking the rest of the night was great after that there, but it was fucking horrendous. Like, it was just...
Like the disabled cafes, like, staff night out.
No.
And then
Yeah.
they've been like, here, Jenny, do you know anybody who take out other tickets? It's like,
Yeah.
aye, Ray lives around the corner to me.
Yeah.
He'll bring
He's
it
got
right."
a disability. I think it's misogyny. He's got misogyny. Is that a thing? Is he going to be black?
terminal
His
racism.
wife was Indian.
Yeah.
But, like, he was, like, full on. And I was like, this isn't funny, mate.
Yeah.
This isn't funny.
Yeah. It's
know?
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. It was really uncomfortable.
I had that kind of happen to me in Oma. I was when I was doing my tour show, which was it was my favourite show of the whole tour. And I was doing crowd work with everyone, being like, what do you do? What do you do? And everyone was giving me their jobs. It was funny. And then I was like, what are you doing? And they went, I work at a special needs school. And I just went, I just held that for like 30 seconds and then just went, still working in Dunn Stores, mate, to the other one. But that worked.
Yes.
Because I'm acknowledging that it's awkward.
What I
But
know.
sometimes the other thing is that when that happens, is you don't take a piss out. You just start a conversation with them.
Yeah.
And then you'll find something in something that they do funny. But yeah, because I never back away from it.
No.
I will always go, oh, right, that's good. Like if it was your man in the cafe. Hang on, all right, where is it?
Yeah.
Ask them where the cafe is, give them a
Yeah,
plug.
no, I think we did.
All that sort of thing.
Was,
And
it was
then you
Ballin
win
Head says,
people.
give him a big round of
Yeah,
applause.
yeah.
That's a great thing he
Oh,
does.
I know
and all.
that place.
Yeah. So that's what it was.
Vegan cafe in
Yeah.
Bench. Yeah.
So I was like, give him a big round of applause. That's really great what you're doing. All blah 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 blah. And then it was fun. But it was just like, here's me. These people have been planted. Is there cameras in here? Like, is this for the?
They were just very defensive. They
Spotlight
were
or
prepared to
something?
be.
It was like
You're such a paranoid fucker.
It was just
These people have been planted.
No, but it was like I went from one side of the room to the other side of the room, and then the whole front was just all this. So I knew to go to the back layer. Went to the back layer and found somebody from the New Lodge, and that was it. The show was fucking brilliant after.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? But fuck,
It can be hard work, especially in that big room in the Empire, because if something goes wrong, the whole atmosphere gets sucked.
and that's only happened once me MCing in there. By the way, I have to say, like, even going to see some of the nights I haven't been MCing, it's fucking been great in there.
Yeah.
It really has.
Oh,
like,
last night
Yeah.
was it was
because
me.
it got like a bit of a burr pit for a couple of years. Like,
Yeah, but well, it used to be very put when I started. It was an absolute, but that was just its appeal.
Yeah.
it booed you off, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
Had you been booed off?
No.
I didn't think you had.
But I was only doing. No, was it doing short spots? Yeah, I was doing short spots and then I was doing the openers. But no, I didn't get put off. The cut local acts a bit more slack, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And
I was English guys and stuff
it
coming
was, it wasn't just because they were English. It was because they would come on and they would do jokes about the tube. They would do jokes about the Northern Line
I seen a
because
guy.
they hadn't ever gigged outside of London.
Yeah.
He came out and he went, the problem with us English, even the prods were like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, no, we're not taking that.
That's I do that when I'm in England. I'll be like, so I'll say the I'm not from Ireland line, and then I'm like, I'm the one that English go, oh, you like us? I'm like, no. No. The way I quit is like the Irish are like, you know, an ex-girlfriend wants nothing to do with you. I just want that child support. I don't fucking like you, but I want your money. But you know what I mean? Like the English don't get that. Like it's just across the board. No one really.
Yeah.
But now that doesn't happen as much. Like
No.
they're coming over that because people do travel a lot more in England to do gigs, and back then they didn't. There was enough work in London that you could just gig in London, and people came down sort of from Manchester and moved to London to gig, and then there was a separate scene in Manchester. But now it's a lot more mixed up, and
I think people know a lot more comedy now because they watch and they see wee clips.
exactly.
Yeah. This is what we were talking about in the car last night. You were like, the 90s was very rock and roll.
Yeah.
And you were like, there was nowhere else you could go, so you would just party every night.
Yeah.
Whereas now the generation is like, we're just looking at numbers constantly.
Oh, you mean the comedians? Yeah.
Yeah.
And because it's people. Yeah, my sort of age of comedian are sort of looking at younger comedians going, they don't seem to be enjoying themselves. Seriously,
We're very serious
this is
people.
the closest you're ever going to get to rock and roll and being in a band. This is it, unless you learn an instrument, which is frankly too late to do, then, enjoy yourself. Make the most of it.
Yeah. And we're all sitting backstage,
And
just
we're all
like
sitting
running.
backstage
Drinking
going,
tea.
oh my God, have you seen the latest, stats
Cryptocurrency,
on the podcast?
We're like, that got for you. Yeah, we literally run everything through. Like,
Yeah, the
numbers
green
are like
rooms,
that
the green
down
rooms have got really bad. I noticed, like, they have
for
for just like in general, like communicating and fucking having a bit of a crack, like.
Oh, people are on their phones.
Yeah, I mean, you go into the green room now and everybody's sitting like this here, but
it is annoying.
I like the one on the Empire because it's so tiny.
I was gonna say the green room last night.
Oh, I
was
said,
great
look at
crack.
this. He's fucking slagging us off now. He's
Yeah.
looking.
What time are we on there, Sean?
I think it's like 12:30. We did our live show at the Ulster
How long
Hall.
were we on?
Yeah.
2 minutes into it, and he answers his phone.
What's it?
We did the live show at the Ulster Hall. 2 minutes in, you answered your fucking phone.
I was doing the Damneys at Christmas, and my mate refused. I forgot about my phone. It was on, but he was on the phone. He's like, "We're all at the arena reunion. You're coming down." I was like, "I'm fucking on stage. It's not at 2 o'clock. That was the first show. It's the second one. All right, sure. When you're finished, on down and me out dead on." And everybody laughed about it, but it was like I had the answer because I forgot about it with my back.
Airplane phone.
Yeah.
Airplane phone.
Airplane phone.
Airplane phone.
Is that what you do? Is it?
That noise. Oh my god, you're
We
going to
airplane
jail.
phone.
Jesus Christ. That you can't say.
You fucking jumped all over me. Or no? Well, listen.
Yes, thank you very much for coming.
Brilliant.
Colin.
We really
biscuits.
enjoyed it. We really enjoyed
That's
it.
one of my favourite
Listen,
ones
this
we've done.
normally doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So Royalty was in today. You've got your tour.
Tour,
Kicks off.
yes, Larne. That's where
Larne.
it starts. Larne
Yeah.
in McNeil Theatre in
Get
Larne.
that out of the road fucking straight
It's
away.
the only gig. It's in a leisure centre. It's the only gig you can have a swim and then go for a laugh. So you can bring your togs and you can go for a swim and then come in. You can smell chlorine while you're doing the gig.
They do that up in Galway.
Aye, yeah, in Leisureland.
In the
yeah.
Leisureland, aye.
Yeah, in there and then everywhere, but there's some sold out. So, but Ballycastle in the Marine and Newry in the Canal Court Theatre or Hotel, and Ballymena in the Braid, and Letterkenny and Dundalk's the second night, and other ones are all sold out. So
Send
Get
us the
on
link.
it.
We'll put it in
Yes.
the bio
Yes.
of this episode.
Yeah.
And you
get
can
your
jump
link.
on. Get
that's
the tickets.
ColinMurphy.com.
Go and see the man.
He's fucking master. He's one of my
Yeah.
favourite comedians to watch. He's absolutely fucking brilliant.
Very good.
We're very lucky to have him on.
Yes, thank you very much for coming in.
And we shall see you next week. Thank you.
All the best.
When you